saints, snitches, and the rest of y'all still lying in the group chat. Welcome to Morning Tea and Allegations, where the devil gets no mic and the truth gets the final say. Just to get some. Hey, hey! She don't run on rumors, she run on receipts. Sanctified shade with the screenshots to preach. This ain't just gospel, it's gospel flow. She prays, she claps back and lets the spirit go. Bible in one hand, the docs in the other. She speaks with fire, can't silence the truth. Hosted by Bianca, the snitch with a mission. Calling it out, cause our children deserve better. Morning Tea and Allegations, pouring truth with no hesitation. Accountability in rotation. This is gospel education. Transparency is our foundation. Integrity leads the conversation. No rumor, no speculation. Just facts, receipts, and revelation. Morning Tea and Allegations, where faith walks on the stage. No fake tongues, no false relations. Just truth, conviction, and conversation. Morning Tea and Allegations. Snitches on the airwaves. Known again, yeah. Allegations. Snitches on the airwaves. Morning Tea and Allegations. Snitches on the
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Welcome to Morning Tea and Allegations. This is your host, Bianca Goolsby, otherwise known as Petty B. And welcome to Season 4, Episode 7. And the title of today's episode is A Moment of Silence. I want to be very transparent and vulnerable before I start this podcast episode today. This particular episode and this week has been very challenging. And putting the pieces together, researching different things that are happening across the nation, I cried myself to sleep. To witness and to see and to hear and to know about all the different things that are happening, the harm that is happening is sad. And I hope in this vital time that we just take a moment to have a moment of silence, of true reflection of the direction that we are headed towards and how harm is continuing to happen. And I go back to ask, how are the children? Before we get started with today's broadcast, I want to go ahead and uplift our church announcements. And I want to just continue to uplift and shout out the Sunshine Education Coalition. The Sunshine Education Coalition has their last event for the Parent Code Workshop. Let me go ahead and share my screen so that you can see the QR code and the update. Their last event is tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the session is ELL Resources. This is really important because the federal government is stripping away resources to provide support to our children where English is not their first language. So this is a great workshop to be powered in, to be plugged in. So please check out the Sunshine Education Coalition and check out their last workshop Parent Code series tonight. And if you missed any of their episodes, you can go visit them on the website where all of their previous workshops have been uploaded on YouTube and published on their website for you to see. Okay? Okay. Whew. The next thing on the church announcements is giving a shout out to the folks in my Patreon. I just want to just thank you for holding space for me, for supporting this work, for being there, for sending me things, for messaging me in Patreon, outside of Patreon. I just really appreciate the support and the community that's being built there. And for those folks that have been joining due to me coming back in Morning Tea and Allegations, I thank you. And for the folks that have been there, I really thank you. It means so much to me that you are in my Patreon community, and I'm going to continue to uplift it as more things are being created and published. So thank you to my Patreon community, and you can join it too. So I'll post a link so that you can get access to it because it's where I'm not fighting with the algorithm. It's where I'm posting things that you might not see on Facebook or Instagram or any other social media space that's out there that I'm on. So join Patreon, be a part of the community. And again, thank you to the Equalizers and the Digital Guardians that are in that space. Let's go ahead and start with our disclaimers because there's a lot that we need to discuss and talk about. So let me go ahead and get the clip rolled up because, yeah, there's a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss, and please govern yourselves accordingly with the following disclaimer.
Thank you, church members, as we have additional announcements and disclaimers that require your full attention. I am a certified snitch and whistleblower that reports on what is happening in our community. Like I always say, people lie, receipts don't. With that stated, the content used in this programming is protected under fair use. In addition, the views and opinions on this programming belong to me. I hold myself accountable and prioritize accuracy and truthfulness in my communications. So unless you have receipts, don't start with me. God is still working on me. I love the block button to protect my peace, and I desire to snitch on everybody, including me. Thank you for your attention and govern yourselves accordingly. Amen.
But God said post and let the record stand.
Amen. I want to go ahead and get started with the first thing that we need to talk about today. I have been talking about Oklahoma and the drama and the debacle that's been happening with that state of education, and they are ranked 50th in the nation for their education. And it just always seems to be some type of controversy and some type of issue that happens there. And I highlight it because it's important, because what you see in Oklahoma is also happening in other states. And it's always something. So the superintendent, Ryan Walters, who is currently being investigated for having inappropriate content on his television. Meanwhile, he is pushing for book bans and Bibles. He had instructed all school districts to have a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. And I just want to play the video from the news that highlighted this order so that we could talk about it. So let me go ahead and share my screen so that you could see this. And let's cue it up.
So today, State Superintendent Ryan Walters is telling Oklahoma schools they need to hold a moment of silence for conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
KOCO's Dakota Wapakichi, he is live on this for us this morning. And Dakota, State Superintendent Ryan Walters, he's saying that Oklahoma needs to honor Kirk's legacy.
Yeah, it's in schools like this one that State Superintendent Ryan Walters is wanting everyone to take a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk, but not every school is on board. We've heard from districts like Oklahoma City, Norman, Mustang, Yukon, Deer Creek, Edmond, and more districts saying that there's already time in their days for a scheduled moment of silence. One superintendent calling this push unnecessary and creating an interruption. So in a statement yesterday, Walters said Charlie Kirk encouraged a generation to speak freely, think critically, and debate openly. While he is telling Oklahoma schools to do this, we know that the state superintendent is also investigating teachers who speak up against Kirk. Now, we have been looking for more districts to see if anybody is participating or not. We do know there is a private Christian school in Yukon that is, and we will be following this story today. Reporting live, Dakota Wapakichi, KOCO 5 News.
Now, as you see in the report, there were several school districts that did not comply with his order, and he condemned those school districts that did not comply with what he desired. And just taking a moment to just uplift that we really need to pay attention to what is happening in our classrooms across the nation and what our leaders are implementing, doing, and saying. Meanwhile, while he is calling for all of the schools to have a moment of silence, the Oklahoma Supreme Court issued a temporary stay for implementing the new social studies standards. What I found very interesting when I was doing research for this particular topic, different news entities had different things to say about it, which is why I want to uplift again the importance when you are pulling receipts and when you're gathering information and when you're learning things about a topic, that you go to different sources to get a well-rounded understanding of what's happening. And unfortunately, we are seeing where some people are taking just sound bites and clips and are forming their own opinions, their own perceptions. And like I said in my post a couple of days ago, multiple things can be true at the same time. I want to go ahead and amplify this video, and this was published by KOCO 5 News. And there are two other news entities that have talked about the Oklahoma Supreme Court stay, and they had different things to say about it. And each of these clips are less than a minute, so I'm going to play all three of them so that you can hear which different news entity says what. Let's go ahead and cue up the first one. Share my screen here, and let's roll it.
Go into effect at this time. This is just into our newsroom. Justices say the current standards, which were passed in 2019, will remain in effect while a lawsuit against the new standards plays out in court. More than 30 people sued over those standards, which created some controversy for an increased mention of the Bible and Christianity, as well as requirements to teach about possible discrepancies in the 2020 presidential election.
Okay, so now I'm going to take you over to KFOR, Oklahoma News 4, and I want you to hear what they say about this very same issue. Let me share my screen. Okay, and here we go.
Breaking developments surrounding Oklahoma's new K-12 social studies standards. The state Supreme Court has blocked those standards.
The ruling was in response to a lawsuit filed in July by Oklahoma parents, school teachers, and faith leaders. Under the ruling, the state cannot implement the new social studies standards or spend money on them either.
That means the previous social studies standards from 2019 will remain in effect. So far, State Superintendent Ryan Walters has not responded to the ruling.
Okay. So let me take you to one more. This is KSWO 7 News. Okay. Again, same topic, different news agents, different reporters, saying different things about the same issue. And all of this is important. So let me go ahead and pull this up and share my screen. 1 second.
In news across the state, the Oklahoma Supreme Court has issued a stay on new social studies standards that were set to be implemented. The 5-2 decision was made yesterday after the court originally rejected a stay in early August. The decision is in response to pending litigation against the new standards filed by 33 individuals in July. The legal director of Oklahoma Appleseed gave a statement saying, in part, quote, "Locking these standards means Oklahoma students can learn history and civics in a way that respects every family's belief while inspiring them to think critically, ask questions, and engage as informed members of our democracy." The Oklahoma Supreme Court has directed schools to treat the 2019 Oklahoma Academic Standards for Social Studies as the applicable standards pending a decision in this case.
So I share all of this with you because I want to make sure that we are uplifting the point that it is very important that you are visiting different sources to get different perspectives on what is being said. I am feeling myself getting very, very emotional because it is so disheartening for me as I'm doing research about this is seeing people who have power, who have privilege, who have the opportunity to make things better for our children and make choices that is for their own political interest. Oklahoma is ranked 50th in education, and the superintendent is not making any comments about how their social studies standards and the lawsuit that is happening, where in one reporting it said that there were conversations about the 2020 election and the issues that happened in the 2020 election. And I'm not going to go back and forth about it. I don't want YouTube or Meta to flag me for talking about the controversies of the 2020 election. But for the folks that know, you know. And the fact that we are going back and forth teaching this to children when our children are learning some pretty dangerous things on TikTok and on different apps that are out here like Discord and in different spaces on the internet that we really need to tap into. I just want to just share this right here. Share this resource from Everytown. Everytown is doing research and policy as it relates to gun safety. And look at what it says. In 2025, there were at least 100 incidents of gunfire on school grounds, resulting in 32 deaths and 98 injuries nationally. And if you go and scroll through the page, it shows a map of the different places that were impacted by guns and gunfire on school grounds. So how are the children doing? It makes me emotional because the conversations and the banter going back and forth about We need to protect our children, and it is not demonstrating in some of the conversations and the policies that are being implemented. And it is a major gaslight. I struggled with the word Christianity and follower of Jesus after some of the incidents that have taken place, because you had conversations about how such and such is a man of God and such is this. And I don't know about you, but I'm really having a hard time with that. I am really having a hard time processing that someone who can spew out hate towards different groups and provide misinformation about different people, and they are supposed to be a quote unquote agent of Christ and a man of God or a woman of God or a person of God. I am having a really hard time with that. And also note that not everyone's a Christian. Also note that there are different religions, that people have different beliefs. And why aren't we respecting that? I get really sad when our own educators who have opinions about current events and things that are happening, where they are silenced and they are bullied and they are retaliated against for the same free speech that was okay in 2020, that was okay in 2022, that was okay in 2024, but now it's not okay. And I have a problem with that. I have a serious problem with the letters that are going out to tell educators that they need to maintain their professionalism. And meanwhile, our own Florida Department of Education's leader, he's not showing professionalism, bullying school board members on a social media platform called X. And the children, I feel like they are showing what's happening, because they're vaping in schools, and this has been a big problem for some time now, but it's gotten worse. So there are several videos that I saw on TikTok where educators are speaking out about children and their addiction to the vape pens and the weed pens and all of those different type of items that are out here. And our children, y'all, our children, I wish that we could really prioritize the children. I saw this video clip, and I just want to play it for y'all. And I just want y'all to see that these are conversations that are happening on the internet. And this is why I continue to uplift and will continue to say, parents and caregivers, please be intentional with what your children have access to. Please be intentional with who your children are talking to. It is important. It is vital. And unfortunately, I don't know what else to say or do other than to provide education on social media spaces, on apps that you need to be aware of, and to stay in my lane. But things are progressively getting worse, it seems. And I am trying to have hope, and I am trying to provide that positive affirmation to keep going. But when I tell you I am struggling, not only am I struggling with my faith, with some of the conversations and the different pastors coming out saying different things about what had took place, but also Let's talk about this vaping. And I just want you to see this little girl talk about it.
Why are you vaping? Who put you onto that? That's not good. No, really, don't skip me. I'm not coming at you. I'm not coming at you, but just let's talk. Why are you vaping?
Because basically my cousin Addie, basically she got me hooked.
How old is your cousin Addie?
She's like 20.
So why is your 20-year-old cousin putting you onto that? Are you an 8th grader or a freshman?
I'm in 8th grade.
I don't think you're really 14. I think you're a little bit younger than that. But I don't really care. How do I get you to stop vaping today? It's not good. How do I get you to put the vape down? No, like stop it like for good. Do it. Can you pour some water and put the vape in there?
It's already in there.
Let me see your water. Let me see.
Oh, never mind.
Listen, can I just tell you something? I know you don't want to hear from me. I'm way older than you, but I'm just going to tell you. Vaping can really, really hurt you, like very, very badly. And I just feel like that you gotta, I know you hear this, but really, like, I'm telling you right now, like, you're going to amount to something very special in this world. And I really feel like it's very important for you to not do that. Do your parents know you vape?
I don't believe that that little girl is 14 years old, nor do I believe that she's in 8th grade. There are platforms, folks, where your children can virtually connect with strangers, and all they need is a webcam and a microphone. And there are platforms such as Omegle, Monkey, and a slew of others where you can randomly connect with strangers online and have conversations. The person that you saw talking to the little girl, I have talked about this influencer before. His name is Aiden Ross. And while I will keep my commentary about him to a whole different platform and a whole different show, I'm glad that he had that conversation with that little girl. But also, he also needs to keep the same energy about some of the other content that he publishes online too. Now, I want you to hear from an educator that is talking about the vaping that's happening in our schools, and I'm just going to roll the clip.
Parents, do y'all know y'all kids be vaping? Bad. Y'all probably bought them vapes. I think y'all should be concerned because I think it's against the law for them to have them under the age of, 18 or 21? I don't think it's good that they're addicted. They are literally addicted to the vape. They go to the bathroom and vape. They go in the closet and vape. They'll vape in the middle of class because they're so addicted to them. And teachers, you better watch out because they like to put them in their sleeve and puff it right back in the sleeve. I just don't think that it's good for them to have an addiction at such a young age that they can't control. They're already addicted to the phones, and now you vaping. I mean, I'm addicted to my phone too, but when you have no regulation, hold on, let me see. No. This is the problem why I dislike vapes, because it's turn up their body. It's turn up their body. It's a lot of stuff that's turn up our body. Who am I? But I just feel like they're too young to have stuff wrong with their body this early. And then I've seen horror stories about people that have kids are vaping, and you think that they don't have a vape, they do have a vape. And weed pens. Check your churn. Y'all probably vaping with the churn, some of y'all. And yes, I'm being messy because that don't make no sense. You think my mom and daddy was sitting up drinking wine with me? Heck to the no. My mama don't even like me to drink wine. And I'm grown. I'm real grown. Y'all different. But check your churn and check them addictions.
I just want to give a round of applause to this educator that shared this because it's really, really important. There are educators that can tell you that one of the reasons why the bathroom is logged is because children are getting high in the bathroom. And it's not just the vape pens anymore. They have moved to other things and substances that they are bringing on campus, distributing to others. And this epidemic, there are elementary school children that are vaping. This is not just middle and high school at this point. You have elementary school children that are vaping. So when we're talking about the children, we need to do something, because they're clearly showing you that something is not okay. And for them to literally be smoking in class, taking their sleeve and literally smoking in class with their sleeve of their hoodie or sweatshirt. Okay. It seems that there are so many different things that are happening on school campuses, whether a tragic shooting, but this one I'm still just kind of sitting with, and I cried about this particular incident at Delta State University. And I just want to publish the statement from the president that was published on social media. So let's go ahead and watch what the president of DSU had to say about the incident that happened on campus.
Hello, I'm Dan Ennis, president of Delta State University. Today on campus, we continue to grieve the loss of our student, Trey Reed. While we go about our business, going to classes, interacting with each other, we're holding each other close. We're trying to remain a community, and we're trying to support each other. A college campus is a special place. We gather people to learn, and sometimes our students are vulnerable. But today, the campus is safe, the campus is active, the campus is alive, and we are going back to learning even as we grieve. And what we want to communicate to the community is that we know that as a university, we're given a trust. People come here to learn, they come here to be safe, and they come here to thrive. And one of our students is gone, and we will never forget that. We continue to meet with and be in contact with Trey's family. We give them our love and support. And we know that we can never fully heal this wound. None of us will fully heal. But we have to go on. And so we're going on this campus as best we can. We ask for your continued prayers. We ask for your support. We ask for your patience. In the middle of all this, yes, we continue to cooperate with investigators. We continue to make sure that all the information necessary is given to authorities, and we continue to hope for answers. We're aware of the recent coroner report, and we're aware of other developments in the investigation, as is the family. As you might imagine, we can only release information that's appropriate, and we will never release any information or make any statement that compromises the ability of authorities to get to an answer that is true, that is real, and that, if not satisfying, at least helps us understand a little bit better what occurred. So thank you, everyone who has reached out, everyone who has supported our students, everyone who has come to campus or from afar prayed and hoped that things will be better today. And things are a little better today, and hopefully they'll be a little better tomorrow. They will never be right in terms of our loss of student. They'll never be exactly as they were. But we're going to keep trying. Thank you.
Reading this news story about Trey Reed made me so emotional in preparing for this episode. For those of you that don't know about the story of Trey, Trey is 21 years old, and his body was found on Monday hanging from a tree by the pickleball courts at Delta State University in Cleveland, Mississippi. The officials claim that there were no evidence of foul play and that this is an active investigation, and there are calls for justice, and there have been misinformation and things that have been circulating on the internet about this particular incident, and they are still waiting for the formal autopsy report. And where is it safe for our kids to be is the question that I have right now. This entire episode, I have talked about the violence that has taken place on school grounds, harm that's happening on school grounds. And yet, you have government leaders excuse me. You have government leaders that are saying all types of things on the internet. And I'm just trying to find out, where can our children be safe? The family secured an attorney, and I want to play a clip of that because this is where I get really frustrated, because DSU's president states that they have been in contact with the family every step of the way, but then the family attorney has a press conference and says this.
As we speak now, the family does not know exactly what happened on September the 15th of 2025. We are seeking answers from Delta State University. We're seeking answers from the coroner's office. We need answers. As of this point, the family of Trey Reed has not even received a phone call from the president of Delta State University and to tell them exactly what happened to their child that they entrusted to Delta State University. As we move forward, we're just looking for answers that a simple camera on the university's campus will answer. There are a lot of unanswered questions here, and the family just wants some answers from top officials at the university and at the coroner's office. Does anyone have any questions? Yes. Well, at this point, justice would look like transparency. Justice looks like a simple phone call from the president of the university with some personalization that this young man that we entrusted to Delta State University, that you care. Yes. I actually have Trey's uncle, his uncle who's the pastor of this church. and he will come forth and tell you a little bit about Trey.
So I'm having a really hard time with this, as you can see. And for those of you that are just listening, I hope that you can just hear in my voice the level of concern that I have, where you have a very polished, professional, published statement from the university's president. And meanwhile, the family attorney is looking and asking for transparency. And it is sad to even know that there was a body hanging at the school, whether it was a suicide or not. I pray for the family. I pray for the students at the school. And I am praying that there's justice and accountability and transparency and integrity throughout the whole process. But it does make me wonder when you have a university president saying that they've been in contact with the family and the family's attorney is still seeking answers. I don't know. And this has just been a lot. Reading the commentary on social media about this has been a lot. Being able to get different sources from different sides. And again, there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation on the internet as it relates to this matter. And again, this is why I say it is important to get the receipts. I am so frustrated and tired of the things that are being said online and people not being held accountable in spaces that allow people to say things with anonymity, and folks that are able to be held harmless for the things that they say. Yet, when there's conversations about their beliefs and how they feel about certain topics, we don't keep that same level of participation, and we have selective outrage and participation. And it is so tragic to see and witness and to follow along. So for our educator confessionals, our educators are tired, they are frustrated, and some of them are still dealing with no air. So again, I'm going to keep this song on repeat, Chris Farkas, because you have educators out here that do not have working AC in their classrooms. So let's cue the song. Fix the air, Chris. We need accountability.
Fix the air, Chris. Don't play with the kids. Fix the air, Chris. Don't play with the teachers. We too hot, we too tired. Lord knows we don't deserve this. Fix the air, Chris. Fix the air. We can't teach in a sauna. We can't learn in the heat. Teachers and children deserve better. So fix the air, Chris, please. Chris Farkas, we are talking to you. Let the record show. Our children are too hot to learn. Our teachers are too hot to teach. And the AC been broke too long. Fix the air, Chris. Don't lie, don't play with the kids. Hey, fix the air, Chris. Don't play with the teachers. We too hot, we too hot, we too hot. Lord knows we don't deserve this. Fix the air, Chris. Fix the air. Receipts don't lie, but your words repeat. Years in the seats still bringing heat. We don't want flawless, we just want fair. Air cold, air blowing in every chair. We can't teach in a sauna. We can't learn in the heat. Teachers and children deserve better. So fix the air, Chris. Fix it. Oh, Chris.
Chris, hey, fix the air, sir. Sir, I don't know what you got to do. I don't know. There's been some allegations as it relates to some of the different vendors that are put into place to help with the AC units. I'm not even going to tackle that today. This is already emotional enough. I'm just asking that there be some intentionality and fixing the things that need to be fixed, sir, in operations. That's all I'm asking. Okay, please, because it is way too hot for these systems not to work. And our children deserve better, and so do our educators. Okay? Oh. So I'm going to end you with this today because I think it's important that we actually do take a moment of silence, that we are finding ways to protecting our peace out here because it is a lot. It is a lot. So there are different components that I want to tackle in this, and I'm gonna send you on your way and wish that you have an amazing day, that in the midst of all of this that you just take a moment to have a moment of silence within yourself, to protect your peace, to unplug, because it's a lot. There were a lot more things that I wanted to tackle in today's episode, but due to timing and my personal journey and battle with reporting this is heavy. And for the folks that are living it, it's heavy for them too. So, boundaries, saying no without guilt, especially when something doesn't serve you. For boundaries, you need to limit access to people who drain your energy or continues to cross your lines repeatedly. Boundaries mean protecting your time by scheduling rest, hobbies, and quiet moments like you would a meeting. Inner work, journal to release your thoughts before they pile up. Okay? Get you a journal, folks. Get you a journal. Pray, meditate, and or ground yourself with breath work when life feels noisy. So that's taking a moment and deep breathing. And affirm yourself daily. For those of you that follow my page personally, you will see that I post affirmations. Take those affirmations and say it to yourself. The affirmation for today is, I am not obligated to participate in chaos. Let me say it again. The affirmation of the day is, I am not obligated to participate in chaos. Digital peace. Mute, unfollow, block folks that disturb your spirit. Set do not disturb hours on your phone to reclaim your attention. And avoid engaging in online arguments that do not add value to your purpose. Let me repeat that one because it's really, really important. Do not engage in online arguments that don't add value to your purpose, folks. There are people that are out here that are intentionally trying to bait you so that they could screenshot you, so that they can dox you and change your life. I'm telling you. Some years ago, I had did a story, an investigative report on how a school board member took a bait in an argument, decided to pick and choose screenshots and send it to the person's boss in the attempts to get them reprimanded, but did not fully show the exchange or the receipts. Self-care, moving your body by walking, dancing, stretching, doing whatever it is that you can to get yourself some mental clarity. Nourish yourself with food, rest, and joy. Joy is the assignment, not just productivity. And create routines for yourself, like candles, tea, music, prayer, whatever it is that can anchor you in the calm. Because there is so much that's going on right now, and it will continue to go on. So I am just here to just advocate to protecting your peace online and offline. And the last one, mindset shifts. Release the need to respond to every opinion or when people bait and provoke you. Recognize that rejection and redirection often protects you. And detach from things that are outside of your control. And if you believe in God, like I believe in God, then trust in God's timing. Protecting your peace is free, but it is priceless. And we must stop discounting it by letting folks rent space in our minds and they can't even afford it. Amen. Please protect your peace out here. The news will continue to go on. The obstacles and the things that are happening will continue to go on, but there is only one you. You are worthy. You are enough. And I'm just here to affirm you today because it's a lot. Our children deserve better. And I hope and pray for the parents and caregivers that you are intentional with what is on your child's phones, tablets, iPads, etc., but also what they have in their backpacks and what they're bringing to and from school. It's important. I pray that y'all have an amazing day. I'm sending y'all love, light, and peace. And I thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Morning Tea and Allegations. I love you. And until next time, peace.